In my first couple videos, I reviewed PNW Components Rainier dropper post, and I also showed the first time that I serviced that post. Since that time, a few things have happened. PNW's got their own YouTube page that has a set of service videos on it that are a lot better than mine. If you need to service your PNW post, I recommend you check out their page. I have a new bike. I got a Da Vinci Hendrix that I'm in love with. We're still getting acquainted with one another, but I think it's the perfect bike for Central Mass. And if you're interested in finding out more about it, let me know in the comments because I'd love to spend a video just talking about my bike. And PNW has also sent me their range cockpit, which includes their stem and handlebar. And what I want to do in this video is sort of get my first impressions, what I think of these components out of the box, as well as talk about my plan to create another video that's a little more detailed, that talks about how they feel on my bike, what they're like on the trails, and just what I think about these components and how they ride. If this seems useful for you, I'd love it if you gave me a thumbs up. But in the meantime, let's get started. Let's talk a little bit about the range stem here. It says that on the cardboard sleeve. Inside that is a foam box that it came in. And PNW sent me the GoPro mounts. You can also get a Garmin mount that goes with it. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. And then inside here is the 35 millimeter stem. It also comes in 45 millimeters. And when I first took this out of the box, I'll be honest, the word sexy came to mind. I love the curves on the top and the bottom. I love this in-cut that wraps all the way around here. I realized the emblem striping and the name might look really bright on the front and here on the sides, but that's just, I think, because the light's up above. Overall, it's really understated in my opinion. It weighs, when I weighed it on my scale, it was 178 grams on its own and 188 with the GoPro mount. And PNW says it's 153 grams. So I'm not quite sure what that discrepancy is. I'm not a huge weight weenie, so I'm not real worried about that. What I'm excited about is the look. I really like that. And the length. When you see my current stem on the bike, I have a big 50 millimeter stem that's just a honking chunk of metal on there. And I like the curves here, and I'm really excited about the idea of bringing the handlebar a little closer in for handling. And yeah, I mean, if it works with the geometry on my bike, I'm really excited about this stem. All right. The whole range cockpit comes with a 3-year warranty. And yeah, that's everything I think you need to know right there. GoPro range stem with GoPro or Garmin mount. All right. Let's get into the GoPro mount. All right. For this, you're going to need a 3 millimeter Allen key. And you need to remove the GoPro mounting bolts right here. This nut pops out easily enough. And then you also use the key to remove the back bolts here. And that takes out the back plate. You can see there's a little curve right here for the handlebar. And this slots right into the slot here on the front. And then the GoPro mount fits in here. Bolt that down. All right, you can see that it's curved inside to fit the handlebar. All right, it's a little bit out of alignment right now, but that's easy enough to fix. I think I just need to loosen the bolts. And then this slides up and down. So you can have the GoPro pointed down, straight ahead, or pointed up right here. All right, and then the nut goes in like so. You put the GoPro in, or if you have the Garmin mount, you put the Garmin, and then this goes in to hold it all. I don't have a Garmin. I also don't have a GoPro, so I doubt that I'm going to be the one be able to use this. The riding here in Central Mass is really rocky and rooty and bouncy, so I think if I tried to make a GoPro video, I just don't think the quality would be very good. I'm also an old fart and I don't ride real fast, so I'm not sure that you know, my riding really justifies having a GoPro. But you got to credit PNW for coming up with a really ingenious way to mount this. And if you look on their website, they also have a video that shows it being used. So there you go. range stem with GoPro mount or Garmin mount. So here's the range handlebar in the box it came in. When you slide this part of the box out, the inside of the box has got this foam padding all the way around with a block here, so the handlebar is not really rattling around inside. And then the bar itself has got a plastic sleeve over it. And here's the range handlebar. So my thoughts on the look of the bar, I really like how understated it is. You can see there's some shinier paint here on each of the sides, you know, with the emblem on it. Obviously that would be covered up with grips and, you know, brakes and things like that, different levers and whatnot, but you know, it's there. And then it says PNW on the left-hand side, probably inside where all the brakes are, so you would see that emblem. And if you use the range stem, the stem's gonna cover right here, and you'll just see PNW Components name right here. And for sort of centering purposes, there's this emblem right here in the middle, and the top of the mountain, all right, or the pyramid, I'm pretty sure it's, you know, they're in the Pacific Northwest, so I think that's a mountain. The top of that's gonna be the middle of the bar, okay? Overall, I like the look. I like how understated it is. I like that it has their name, but it's not, you know, huge, you know, calling out at anybody. The bar kind of speaks for itself. Numbers on the bar here. It is 78 centimeters wide. My bar that is on my bike right now was 80 centimeters, and I cut it down to 76. So there's a chance that if I use this bar, I'll take a centimeter off each side, or I might decide to keep it that wide if I use it with the shorter stem. We'll just have to see here. There is a 5-degree upsweep here and 19 millimeter rise overall on the bar, and there's a 9-degree bend over the length of this, all right? PNW's weight is 300 grams, and as you can see when I weighed it, my scale said 302. So not a big discrepancy right there. And then the last couple of things I'll say, if you check out the website, and I would encourage you to do that if you're interested in the handlebar here. PNW really geeked out, and I like this. They went into this really great explanation for why they chose the alloy they did. And I'm not an engineer, I'm not a science guy, so I don't really know, you know, I'm not going to know the difference, you know, between one heated alloy and another. But I thought it was pretty cool. They really kind of describe or explain their thought process behind that, and I'm just enough of a bike geek that I can appreciate that. All right. Last thing is this retails for $59. All right. Available on Amazon or on their website here. And yeah, PNW range handlebar. So here I am with the bike I'm currently riding, which is a 2016 DaVinci Hendrix. I've only had the bike for a couple months. I bought it in January. It's April right now. I've mostly been riding it in the snow. I went for a ride yesterday and there was still snow on the ground. And I think this is the perfect bike for New England. It's got plus size tires, it has full suspension. There's no doubt in my mind this is a big upgrade over my old bike. It is a size large, and the DaVinci sizing says that larges run best for someone who's 5'10" to 6'2". I'm 5'9", 5'10" on a really good day. So this is, you know, right on the cusp of where I probably am ideally or perfectly suited. I feel great when I ride it. I have no aches or pains when I'm done riding, so I haven't had any issues with this bike whatsoever. But I have wondered if maybe I could make a few subtle tweaks and make this fabulous bike even better. So as you can see, my current stem is a 50 millimeter Thompson Elite X4. I've got no complaints about this stem, and like I said, I'm thoroughly enjoying this bike. But since it's a size large, I'm wondering if the shorter PNW stem that pulls the handlebars in ever so slightly could take a great ride and make it even better. A friend of mine, when I told him this, said, "Why are you going to replace a perfectly good Thompson stem?" For me, it's not about the brand name. It's all about just pulling the handlebar in, optimizing the geometry. If this doesn't work, I'll go right back to the Thompson stem. I have no problem with that. But I'm just checking out if PNW could make it a little bit better ride. Now, as you can see, my bike also has a Deity Black Label handlebar.
The orange doesn't totally match what's on the bike, but it coordinates pretty well, and I've been pretty happy with it. Now actually this whole experiment started because a buddy of mine on my first ride on the bike commented that he was surprised that a bike with this slack geometry would have a handlebar on it with this much rise. So it got me thinking, could I have a more enjoyable ride with a handlebar that's got a little less rise on it? So that's what I'm going to use the PNW bar to experiment with. So my plan over the next few weeks is to play around with different stem and handlebar combinations and find out what feels best with me and the new bike. I'd also like to get the camera out on the trail with me, give you a little bit of feedback, how things are feeling in the moment, and I'd love to show you some of the trails we have here in Central Mass. In the meantime, good luck, have fun riding.